Hello, welcome back to my Knitting for Beginners series. This is episode 5, and in this episode we will be learning how to do a rib stitch. Now, in the first few episodes we learned how to cast on, we learned how to do the knit stitch, the basic knit stitch. We learned how to go back and forth, in rows with the purl stitch and the knit stitch to create a stockinette pattern. You'll notice on the back, on the wrong side, that the back of the stockinette looks a lot like the knit stitch. A little bit different, but close. And this is when we are going to, this is what we're going to do today. Instead of going back and forth like we did before in rows with the knit and the purl stitch, this time we are going to do knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl within the same row. This is a very useful stitch pattern to do. You can use it on the bottom of hats, the bottom of sleeves, and the bottom of tops and that sort of thing to create a little bit of an elasticity to them. Now, be careful when you're doing this that you have your yarn in the right position. This time it's in the back. We are going to do our standard knit stitch to begin with. Now, if we left our yarn over here, we wouldn't be able to do a proper purl stitch. So what we need to do first is bring it to the front, bring the yarn to the front in between the two needles, and then we can do our purl. Now it's at the front. Now our yarn is at the front. We have to bring it back to the back before we can do our knit stitch. You're going to have to go back and forth like that. Bring it to the to the front again, and then you can do another purl. Bring it to the back and do a knit. Forward and do a purl, back and do a knit, forward and do a purl, back, knit, front, purl, back, knit, front, purl. Now, before I finish this row, if you look, spread them out a little bit here, and you look at your different stitches, you'll notice a difference here. There's a purl, a knit, a purl, a knit, a purl, a knit. The purl actually looks like a little round purl, whereas the knit is much straighter. If you forget where you are, you can use that. I can see that I have a purl here and a knit here and a purl here, which means I have to do another knit here. Knit, or I mean that was a purl, sorry, and knit, the last one. Now you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to flip it and switch it to the other hand. And we're going to put it back onto the right hand needle. Now, this is where it comes in handy. We know that we have a knit here, purl, a knit, a purl. You have to keep it the same in order to make the rib stitch. So we have purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. So I know I have to start out with a purl on this row. So I do my purl, bring it to the back to do my knit, front to do my purl, back to do my knit, front to do my purl, back to do my knit, and I'll keep going like that across the row until I get to the end. I'm going to speed up a little bit here. I'll try, and don't worry, you can pause if you need to. Go back and check to see that you've done it right. Rewind if you need to. And I am ending on a purl. Ending on a purl here. Okay. Sorry, I kind of went out of frame there for a minute. And you can start to see it coming together. Now I'm going to do the same thing again. I see that I have a purl, a knit, a purl, a knit. So I have to start out with a knit. Do the same thing. Across the whole row, back and forth. And I am ending on a knit stitch. There we go. And you can start to see what it looks like here. I have my purls all inside here, and you'll notice it's starting to come together. All my knit is on top. So you can see what it starts to look like. Now on the next episode, I'm going to show you how to cast off. Before you go to the next one, do a couple more rows back and forth, and then I'll show you how to cast off your swatch. Thank you for watching.